Hi, friends. Hold on. How y'all doing? No, get out. Go. Go, go, go. Out, out, out. You go out. No, go. Out you go. Hi, sorry, friends. Dead air. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So, welcome to Online Steps to Success. Happy Tuesday night. It is 8:03. Which means I'm running a little bit late. What's new? My name is Allison Dalkey. I am so glad that you're here. We are going to talk tonight about something important. Tonight's going to be a conversation that I've wanted to start with you for a long time. I'm going to ask you to think outside the box. I'm going to ask you to kind of forget everything you think you know about your business, because I want to challenge you a little bit tonight, because you have found yourself at Online Steps to Success, where we believe that you should dream big dreams, work smarter, not harder, and change the world with the work that you're doing. And it is possible, but it is not going to happen on accident. Oh, and make money while you're doing it. Yes, let's do all of those things. So I'm so glad you're here. Last week, I challenged you to reach out to somebody and share the opportunity with them. I think I gave you 48 hours or something, and I would love to hear how that went. I would love to know if any of you reached out to someone maybe for the first time. How did it go? Did you do it? Hi, Delinda. Well, I guess we're not live on YouTube tonight because it's not working. Oh well. It's okay. We'll post it later. Not live on YouTube tonight, friends. That's all right. Hi from chilly Houston. Chilly, right? It's cold everywhere. What is happening? Oklahoma missed their fall. We just missed it. We just went to winter. It's like winter. I had my air conditioner on 3 days ago, and then I had to turn my heater on yesterday. My heater wasn't working. It's cold, I know. So I asked you, I want to know how it went. Did anybody accept the challenge of reaching out and sharing the opportunity with someone, and did it go well? Because I want to know. Hi, Jennifer. I'm doing so well. Thanks. Crystal says she got a recruit. That is awesome. That is fantastic. Hooray. We'll see what else we got. What else do we have over here? Did I go somewhere? Okay, you did, but you have to follow up. Good, follow up. Good morning, Cheryl. Cheryl must be on the other side of the world, I'm guessing. Hi, Megan. It's good to see you. So, Lisa said I shared the opportunity. Both said no, but I take it as seeds planted. Absolutely seeds planted. And also, one of the things you have to think about when sharing the opportunity is you just never know when the timing's going to be right for someone. Timing is everything. And so it's important to kind of take all that into consideration. You'll never know unless you ask, right? Lisa said I'm in the process of getting my sister-in-law to join. That's awesome. A party going for a customer, hoping to become a consultant. Not right now, but soon. Awesome. Got a new customer, but no recruit. That's okay. One-year meeting for coffee, Megan. Y'all are awesome. Lori says she got a new downline and she almost hit 900 PRV, and this is her first month. That is amazing, Lori. Fantastic. So I love all of it. Thank you for taking my challenge. Lisa says, yep. I think she's saying yep to my comment that timing is everything. We have to keep that in mind. She said, I said no for over a year. And here you find yourself. I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is going to be a challenge. Tonight's going to be a little bit of a challenge because I'm going to ask you to really open your brain for me. And I'm going to ask you to think sort of outside the box, and I'm going to ask you to think about maybe, I want you to think about your business in a way that maybe you haven't thought about it before. So I want you right now to think about your life 10 years from now, which I know is tricky. It can be very tricky, but I want you to think about your life 10 years from now. You still have your business. It is much bigger, right? You're making a lot of really great money because this is direct sales and exponential growth is a thing and you are just rocking it. But I have a question for you. Are you exhausted? Are you still hustling? Are you worn down? Do you feel like you can't ever get ahead? Because some of you, if you don't change anything about the way your business is set up, that's exactly what you're going to feel like 10 years from now. You may not feel like you're ever getting ahead. You may not feel like things are ever really going to go your way. Maybe you are making more money, but you're still beat into the ground because of the hustle. Now, I don't know about you, but if I think about myself 10 years from now, that's not really the way I want to run my business. It's not really what I want my business to look like. It doesn't sound very appealing to me. But let me tell you something. We are in a very, very appealing business. Hey, babe, one of our children's trying to FaceTime me. Okay. I don't know why. So, I'm sorry, I got distracted by the FaceTime. Yes, somebody said, I'm afraid to think 10 years from now when I'm feeling that way now. Yes, I think this is a problem, and I think this is a problem that we have to discuss. Here's one of the biggest problems with your business. It doesn't ever have to turn off, right? And you've probably been taught that you need to live this all the time, that you need to be the Scentsy girl at the grocery store, that you need to be the Scentsy lady everywhere you are. And I'm going to strongly, strongly disagree with that perspective. Now, don't throw your arrows yet. Don't get mad at me. Will you just hear me out? I want you to think about this as a long-term business. I want you to think about this as a long-term investment in your family, because I believe that you should be making good money doing this and that you should be working smart and that possibly some of the things you've been taught have been wrong. Maybe. So there's a couple things. First of all, we get into direct sales and we will often listen to what anybody has to teach us, right? Because we're so hungry for knowledge and we're so hungry for ideas. And sometimes we take something that somebody else did and worked well for them and we try it and maybe it works well for us and we think that's awesome, but maybe it's exhausting or not something it's not sustainable, right? Or maybe we try something and it doesn't work at all for us because I'm not her and she's not me, right? It can be so, so tricky. So, a couple things I want you to start doing. I want you to start looking at your business in the long term. I want you to start asking yourself some really hard questions. Is this something I can sustain long term? Is this, and when I mean something, I want you to think about a task like that. So you're thinking about a task, and I want you to ask yourself, is this task something that I can sustain long term? Is it something that I can continue to do 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Is it something I want to continue to do 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Okay, I'm going to give you some super, super practical things in just a minute. Hi, sweet friends. So glad you're joining us. So, Alita said, I'm old now, let alone 10 years from now. Oh, whatever. I think sometimes we miss the opportunity that this business is, that it has the ability to create exponential income for us. And exponential income is the whole reason there's such an appeal to network marketing, to direct sales, right? Exponential income is huge. But we sometimes get so caught up in the day-to-day tasks and we never shut it off and we never slow down and we never take a healthy break that it becomes all consuming. And that's a really bad place to be. That is the opposite of what I would call an elegant business model. So an elegant business model is something that you can say, all right, I can see myself doing this now and doing this 10 years from now. I can see myself setting my business up this way and making it work for the long haul. So what does that look like and what does that mean? We live in a digital age where things can be automated, and so many things can be automated. For some reason, we haven't quite wrapped our brains around that in direct sales. We're still doing things, a lot of things, fairly old school. And it's changing, and I think we're doing a good job changing, but I think we have to continue to evolve as the world evolves. For instance, I think if you got in to direct sales 10 years ago, which is about when I got in, the party was the way to go. The party was the way to grow your business. The party was the way to network. It was the way to build your list. It was the way to go. Most people would say that. Some people 10 years ago built their business doing events, and events were the way to go, and events were what people were doing, and all those things were working. And then the world changed, and the world continues to change. Now, listen, I am not saying that what I'm trying to tell you tonight means that parties are dead or events are dead. I don't believe any of that. I think that's the complete opposite, honestly. But I also think we have to start thinking big picture. I was actually talking to my friend, Kelly, the other day, and she is what do they call? An ambassador for another direct sales company. And we were just talking about network marketing and direct sales. And I was asking her, like, what's it like what are you learning? Like, how are you being taught to grow your business? She was like, it's trunk shows. It's trunk shows, trunk shows, trunk shows. She's like, and I turn them away because she works full-time job. She only is willing to give up a couple weekends a month from her family, right, to go do a trunk show. And I thought, man, what a disservice we're doing if we're not talking about other ways. Now, I know so many of you are running your business other ways. You're thinking, I've never done a party in my life. I've never done an event, and I'm growing a business. And that's totally good. However you're growing a business right now is great. But I want us to start reframing our minds into thinking about how do we make a business model that is elegant, that can stand the test of time? How do we make a business model that puts in enough automation as possible without losing the relationship? Because when we look at direct sales, it is all about the relationship. It's why direct sales models work so well for so many products. The relationship matters greatly. And I think we get so wrapped up sometimes in doing things the way we've always done them, and we get wrapped up in the way that we were taught something, that we don't open our mind up enough to new and innovative ideas. Do you feel like I'm talking in circles, or like when I'm not getting to the point? So mostly what I want you to do is open your mind to this conversation and this way of thinking about your business. I want to give you some ideas. Here's another thing I want you to think about. I want you to think about Christmas. So Christmas is coming up, right? And I want you to think about, like, some of you who have been around for a while, if you've been watching every Tuesday, you know that I take 4 weeks off at Christmas. And I have gotten so much flack about that. And I've had so many people say to me, well, it must be nice for you, because you're making the big bucks and you can do that. No, the only reason I get to take 4 weeks off every Christmas is because I intentionally plan on doing that. And I set up my business so that I can take 4 weeks off at Christmas. And I think that anybody in any direct sales business could absolutely do the same thing. The problem is your brain is so wrapped up in it has to be you, and it has to be all, you have to steer the ship all the time, that sometimes you forget that if you did it right, and if you built this right, and if you frame things right, and if you're intentional, you could take a break. And I mean take a break. I mean no computer, no talking to your team, no saying the word Scentsy, none of it. Just taking a break for 4 weeks. You absolutely could. And not only, and this is the thing I want you to, this is what I want you to understand. My business is not suffering because I'm taking 4 weeks off. My business is stronger and better every year because I take 4 weeks off. But some of you are thinking, there's no way, I couldn't. Everything would implode. Nothing would work out. I would come back, I would have no team. Is that what you're thinking? It's not true. And I want to give you some practical ways tonight to help you start reframing your business in a way that it becomes a very elegant business model. This is the opposite of hustle. This is the opposite of nonstop. This is intentional. This is hardworking, but it allows you to create a lifestyle that you would actually want to live. Are you game? Does that make sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. Where I got my calendar, y'all are all talking about my calendar. It's a chalkboard that I bought at Hobby Lobby. Like, it has been my goal tracking chalkboard since, for 10 years, I think. Seriously. So it's like the parts that are calendar, like the Monday, Tuesday, whatever, it's all on there. I have to write in the month and the date, the days every time. The date. There you have it. It's just a chalkboard. Okay. Are y'all down? Okay. Okay. In your comments. Cool. So we're going to walk through, how we always have areas of our business, and I'm going to walk you through some of those areas of business, and I want to start talking about how you can automate things. Here are some basic principles for automation. Now, I know that all of you are in different stages of your business. Some of you are at the very top level. Some of you are brand new. Some of you are just in the really, really basic growing stages of business. And I want to speak a little bit to momentum first. Momentum is so valuable. And when you have momentum, you want to continue moving, right? And I'm going to try to convince you tonight that you can have momentum, take a break in the middle of momentum without losing your momentum. Okay? Just hear me out. And again, this is sort of me pushing you a little bit and me playing devil's advocate a little bit. If we were on a coaching call, this is what I would be doing. I would be asking you how you're going to sustain this long term. How are you going to make sure that this business is a blessing to your family and not a burden? Because that is what it needs to be, a blessing and not a burden. However, it's easy for it to become the other thing. Sometimes we get too wrapped up in things, all the things, right? Okay, so let's talk about sales. Let's talk about sales. And I know that some of you watching don't sell Scentsy and you may sell something else, and that's great. So obviously frame it however you need to frame it, if that's what my sweet friends with, anyways, we're about to hear, but you know what I mean. Just frame it how you need to frame it. So let's think about sales. If you are doing a lot of combining of orders, putting orders in as a party order to get free shipping for your local customers, and then delivering those orders, you're spending a lot of time delivering, is that a very elegant business model? Oh, we're going to do Q&A. So if I ask a question, I really want you to answer. How about that? Like we're in class. Let's do that. Let's play it like that. So would you say that you making yourself available to deliver product frequently is an elegant business model? Yes or no? And I will just patiently wait for your answers. Carrie says, not really. Wait, no, it's not backwards. Alicia thinks yes. Interesting. So we have a yes and a not really. We have some no's. Here come the no's. Several no's. Okay. When you think about this, if I'm spending a certain amount of time every single week making deliveries, I'm offering my customers value, right? Because I'm offering them free shipping. And they appreciate that. And maybe they have come to expect that from me because that's the way I've set my business up. But now I'm in a situation where I'm spending a certain amount of time every month or every week delivering orders. It's not a very elegant business model, because if your customers expect free shipping because it's what you've offered them, and you take 4 weeks off, and they come to you and say, hey, I need you to put my order in so I can get free shipping and I need you to deliver it to me, then you're kind of needed in that aspect, aren't you? Now, listen. I'm not saying don't combine orders and make deliveries. It's perfectly fine. But I want you to start thinking bigger picture about how you can use your time more wisely. Time, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. So I want you to do your best to think about how you can use your time more efficiently. So some of you are already offering suggestions. So a better model than that would possibly be allowing your customers to come pick up orders. I know a lot of consultants who got burnt out on delivering. They just got burnt out. And so now they have a pickup day. It's every Friday or every whatever. Pickup day is whatever day it is from this time to this time. And that consultant knows they're going to be home. Customers can come pick up. If they want free shipping, those are their options, right? They can come pick up their order instead of you having to deliver it. Somehow we framed in our mind that we have to always do free shipping and we have to always deliver. And it might be something that you value and that your customers value. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I want you to try to think a little bit differently. I want you to push yourself to try to think a little smarter and a little more big picture. And here's why I want you to think big picture. Some of you are stalled out and stagnant because you're so freaking busy. You're busy constantly delivering. You're busy constantly combining orders. You're busy constantly doing whatever you're doing, okay? We have to start thinking about how we can work smarter and more efficiently. And maybe you need permission, but I'm going to give you permission right now. You have permission to change the rules. You are your own business owner, and you have permission to change the rules at any point. One of the things we said early on is that we were going to give free light bulbs for life for our customers. When light bulbs were $1, well, light bulbs are not $1 anymore. And long term, I realized this is really not the smartest business plan I've ever had. Are there people I still give light bulbs for free for? Yes. Most people now, I charge for light bulbs. And nobody stopped coming to me, but nobody got mad about it. Everything is about communication. So you can change your mind at any point about your business and how you want it to look and how you want it to operate. You're just going to have to communicate well. And there is a beautiful thing about going to your customers and saying, hey, here's where I'm at. I absolutely love servicing you this way. I love giving you free shipping, but I'm wearing myself into the ground. And here's what I'm going to do. We're going to try this. I'm going to have a couple pickup days a month. Still going to offer free shipping. I will still put your orders together. These are the days you can come pick up. I know some of you are already thinking it's not going to work for me, and this is why you're giving me all the reasons. Stop giving me the reasons it's not. start thinking about how it could, okay? The business is not set up to be an elegant business model if you are the one that has to deliver all the time. Even if you're paying somebody to deliver a product for you, it's not very elegant, okay? That's just one example. Let's think about some other things. Let's say that you meet a new customer at a party or at a show or online, and you want to start to build a relationship with them. A lot of people would say, well, you do that through social media. Yes and no. If you want to run yourself into the ground, sure, you can stalk their social pages, you can comment on all the things about their kids, and you can start to attempt to build an inauthentic relationship that way. That sounded bratty. It's not inauthentic, but you know what it means? It kind of is. Or you can set up, now listen, just open your mind and listen to me for a minute, because I know some of you are thinking, it's never going to work. It's not going to work for me. I can't do that. Just try to be open-minded. Or you could set up a drip email sales campaign. I don't want to hear your complaints about what you think about email, because all of the statistics show that email is still king, and that email still means money every day of the week. Every industry you look at, email matters, but it's the right email. So what's a drip campaign? A drip campaign would be something that you would set up through MailChimp or what are some other ones? Constant Contact maybe. I'm a huge fan of MailChimp. I like it a lot. I think it's super user-friendly. Has so many great features. So instead of me stalking my new customers and my new contacts on Facebook and attempting to build a relationship with them that way, I'm going to do a drip email campaign instead. Now, you might be thinking, gosh, that's got to be a lot of work. Well, it's work one time, and then it's work never again. It becomes much more elegant when I do it once and it's done. So let me give you an example. Let's say we meet at a party and we connect and I add you to my email list. So you go into my email list as a new customer. And when I tag you as a new customer in MailChimp, you then begin to get a series of what I like to call the nice lady emails. It's how you get to know me. It's how you get to see my name and Scentsy come through your inbox on a very regular basis, and how I get to build up rapport. Now, these are not sales emails. These are nice lady emails. These are emails of you figuring out who I am and how I can serve you, right? I have a product that you obviously like because you bought it at a party, and I want to make sure that I can provide you good customer service, but I also need you to know me because there's a million other consultants in your town and you could go to one of them. So when you create basically a warm-up email list where they get one email and then another, and I know I'm going to get to I know you have a million reasons why, or you don't understand, or we're going to get there in just a minute, just follow me. There's a million benefits to me creating a drip email campaign for my customers and slowly warming them up into liking me, knowing me, and trusting me. Because who do people buy from? People they know, like, and trust, right? How are you going to know me even if I friend somebody on Facebook? They may never see my posts, right? They may not. They just may not. And so how are they going to get to know me, like me, and trust me if, for one, I just throw them in a VIP page and they only think I'm ever trying to sell to them? Or two, I friend them on Facebook and maybe I start stalking their photos, but then that seems very strange to me, right? I want people to know, like, and trust me. And one of the ways that we can do that is communication, and consistent communication through a drip email campaign. Now, tonight's chat about elegant business models is not me telling you how to make a drip email campaign. It's me opening your brain to understanding that there are other ways to do a business out there, right? There are other ways for you to frame the work that you're doing. This is also a fantastic tactic, especially for someone who is a contact or a lead you received through an event, that bought from you at an event, right? They like the product, but they need to like you. They need to know, like, and trust you. And your likable lady emails are a great way to create that. There are a ton of resources out there. If you really wanted to learn about email marketing, you really wanted to learn about how you can be more efficient and effective in communication and building trust and likability through email out there. Jenna Kutcher is one, has a course. Grace Lever has a course. I mean, if you just say it out loud, you're going to start getting sponsored posts in your Facebook feed because that's how it works. But there's so many resources out there for you to learn more about that. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about elegant business models. Christina says, in response to comments, in MailChimp, it's autoresponders. Yes, autoresponders. I think they have, I thought too that they had something now called Drip Campaign. Drip campaigns. So in some email providers, it's called a drip campaign. In some, it's called an autoresponder. And here's the thing. It is not meant to feel automated. It's meant to feel personal and where you're giving up something. So you're helping them get to know, like, and trust you. We can talk, and maybe we will talk more about this later on. I promised you I would always teach you about the things I'm learning about. This is me teaching about the things I'm learning about. Okay. Questions? Aaron said, I just emailed myself a MailChimp document about drip campaigns. Yes. Fantastic. There are other software programs out there. There are MailChimp. Okay, yeah, MailChimp. There's Constant Contact MailChimp. There's Mad Mimi. I would recommend MailChimp, especially if you've never used email marketing before. It's super easy, really beautiful, looks great on mobile. You can add links directly to your website. But the point is, you create an email series that is for new customers that goes out to every new customer, and you've created it one time and it is done. That is what an elegant business model looks like, because then it doesn't matter if you have 100 customers or if you have one, you're still able to provide them the same service, the same communication, because it's all done automatically. You have to put the email in the appropriate place, but after that, it's done. Does that make sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting out? Sorry, I'm reading you guys. Another program for emailing is called, hold on. There's one called Infusionsoft. It's very expensive. It is an actual whole business autoresponder. So it has a CRM in it, a customer relationship manager. There's a program called GetResponse, and there's a program called ActiveCampaign. So those would be email marketing. Infusionsoft is a complete business automation. So it does more than just email. Now, I want to talk a little bit while we're on email. Same thing for your teams. So let's think about this. Right now, what are you getting? 1, 2 recruits a month, 3 if you're having a great month, some of you 5, some of you 13. But you're bringing new people onto your team. And once they're in, we want them to stay. Well, there needs to be a relationship between you and that person. You need to build that rapport. There needs to be some sort of community, right? But also, you want to make sure that they're getting what they need. Now, yes, there's a ton of things you can do in a Facebook group, but there's a lot you can also do with email. So not only can you send them a welcome to our team email, we're so glad to have you, but you can put videos and things now. You can do a drip campaign or an autoresponder for a new consultant on your team that assures you that you are making sure every single person that comes into your team is getting the same training. They're getting the same information. They're getting the same equipping that they need to run their business. Works the same way. So then it doesn't really matter if I have 1 new recruit a month or if I have 15, because I have a system in place where they get an email every few days. instructing them on what to do next in their business and encouraging them and holding them accountable. Are you still needed in that equation? Absolutely yes. I don't know why I said absolutely. Absolutely yes. But it allows you to build bigger and more intentionally, and you can still take 4 weeks off if you want to, okay? But it's putting in some solid things that are going to happen whether you are there to physically do them or not. Are y'all following me? Are we good? Have I lost you yet? Okay, Delinda said I get 10%, less than 10% that open emails. So here's an interesting statistic. Industry-wide, it's 13%. And that's just emails in general. However, it is not always about who opens your email. It's about especially for customers, and this is why email marketing is still king in sales. It's not about what gets opened necessarily. It's about your name showing up on their phone because they got a new Gmail notification, or when they're scrolling through their emails, them seeing your name or your product over and over again. It all matters. It all matters. Now, the other thing that you want to make sure is you want to make sure that the emails that you're sending have value. If they don't have value, you're going to see a lower rate. Now, also, as you have your team grows and the older your team gets, the less open rates you're going to have naturally, because it means you will have more hobbyists. And a hobbyist on your team is less likely to open an email than someone who's actually running their business. So if you have 10% opening your emails, that means you have 10% engaged. And that's about right. That's pretty industry standard. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, I'm just checking y'all's comments. Okay, let's talk about some other things. We were talking about sales. Remember, tonight is all about, I'm just trying to get you to think about your business long term. I'm trying to get you to think about the scalability of it. I'm trying to get you to think about the health of it. How long can I maintain what I'm doing at the rate that I'm doing it? And how effective is it? And how much money am I making doing it, right? So how do we do it smarter? How do we do it with more profit? How do we do it where it can maintain long term? Okay. Let's think about shopping. Let's go back to PRV. If you're having people come to you, remember, what we recognize and what we reward gets repeated. That's true for your team. As you're growing a team, it is true for your customers as well. So a couple years ago, before I had my double mastectomy, I started rewarding people who ordered online. Now, for years, I had told people, I had begged people to come to me. I want to offer you free shipping. Turns out people don't really care that much about free shipping. Some people do. Some people really don't care. They'll pay their $8 and they're happy to have it at their front porch. But I started rewarding people who were ordering online because I needed people to order online because it was far less work for me. I wasn't having to input an order. I wasn't having to collect payment information. I wasn't having to unbox, package, deliver an order. Time is money. So I started rewarding people for ordering online. And now I have an online order thank you package that goes out every single month. And it's not just a card, because what I want people to do is I want them to order online every month. My customers know that they are going to get something in the mail, a special treat from me, a special gift, and it's always meaningful and it changes every single month. It is me rewarding the behavior that I want repeated. Now, some of you would say, well, now that you're spending time putting those together, I am and I'm not. It takes me less time to do my mailers. I do them one time a month for my online orders as a thank you. And it takes me far less time than it would even take me to unbox and package an order that came to my door for a party order. Does that make sense? We reward the things that we want repeated, and we encourage behavior that allows our business to be more elegant. That means as little of us as possible, that we can sustain long term. Okay? Okay. What are some examples of my rewards? Marissa, that's a great question. Marissa, I just made a face at you because I thought you were a different Marissa for a second, and I was like, God, I could have sworn your name only had one S. No, it's a different Marissa, so I'm really sorry. I wasn't disappointed or like upset. What are some of my rewards for online orders? Sometimes it's super simple. When we got back from our Caribbean cruise, it was a by the sea scent circle, and a lot of times I will quickly create a postcard or a letter that I'll print out on Canva that talks about what we were doing that month or why the gift is what it is. So they got to buy the Sea Scent Circle, and I get to tell them that their order helped us earn this trip, and this is what we did, and this is what we saw. So it becomes a very personal thing sometimes. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's Scentsy and maybe my favorite fall goodie. So this month I'm sending candy corn and M&Ms and cute little fall baggies with a pumpkin cinnamon swirl scent circle. And it's not always a scent circle. You could do whatever you want, but the point is you want to reward the things that you want repeated and do the things that you love doing, okay? Seeing what y'all are doing, what you're saying. Okay, and here's another thing. So if you're saying, well, how am I going to ask my customers to pay for shipping? You're not going to ask them to pay for shipping. You're not even going to bring up shipping. You're just going to say, if this is something you decide that you want to do to make your business more elegant, you're going to say, hey, my business is growing. I love that you are such a great customer. Here's what I'm doing. So maybe it is a delivery thing that's an issue for you. It's taking up time. It's taking up energy. I'm going to place an order twice a month. This is the days that I'm going to have product available for you to come pick up. That's why I'm still going to be able to offer free shipping. You can come pick your order up on this day or this day. Or you can shop online, and I have a fun little goodie that I'm sending to all my online customers every single month. And I would love your business either way, but I just wanted you to know it is so much about communication. People have hearts and they care about you as a person. So when you can be honest and say, I probably shouldn't have started doing this, and I did, and now I'm kind of in like a pinch. So here's what I'm going to do instead. Of course, I still want your business. If they know, like, and trust you, and you've built up the relationship, which if they're coming to you to order, they probably do know, like, and trust you, they're going to stick around. They're going to be down for the new way to order. They're going to be down for the new way to pick up their things. Long term, how do I do this long term? How do I make it make sense? How do I make more money? How do I have more time, right? Okay. I've mentioned before, I think Facebook Live packages, I read a word and then I said it. I think Facebook Live parties are an incredibly great way to grow your list, a great way to have efficient and effective parties. And we recently talked about why on earth couldn't you have multiple hosts? I know some of you have done that and have had huge success doing it. So you're having Facebook Live parties. So it's still a 30-minute live party, just like you're at somebody's home, but you have 4 different hosts, which means you have 4 times the amount of people on, which means it's getting more interaction, more excitement, more comments, more shares, right? And more orders. And it's all happening fast. That's what I'm talking about. How do we make this more scalable? Maybe having a Facebook Live party with multiple hosts. Still a great way to grow your business, but you're doing what would normally take you 4 times the amount of time in. So usually it takes you 2 hours at least to do 4 30-minute Facebook Lives. Now you're doing it in 1 30-minute session. I mean, that's how we work smart. Okay. All right. Other things. Let's talk about, are y'all following me? Are you tracking what I'm saying? I'm trying to get your brain to wrap around, how do I make this business as automated as possible without removing the personal part of it? How do I make it less me and more them? Another thing, there will be a time when you need help. I need help right now, and I have had help in the past. And I think I've just never hired the quite right person. And I think that's very important. When would you hire somebody? When you're making $5,000 a month profit is when I would look into hiring somebody. And some of you are there. Some of you are far beyond that. Some of you are close. But if you are making more than $5,000 a month in profit, that means minus your expenses, it's probably time to find somebody to help you. There are so many things that people can help you do. You need to figure out the things that you're not naturally good at, the things that somebody can help you do. What are you spending a ton of time doing? Are you spending all your time making flyers? Are your flyers making you tons and tons of money? If not, you probably need to either hire someone to do it or find a way to do it smarter and in less time. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to jump back to this. Carrie says, how do you reward the party host if there's more than one? So each party host their party still functions as one party. So if you have 4 hosts on one Facebook Live party, there are 4 separate links for each host that host is specifically texting out to the people who are watching, right? They have 4 specific party links. So Sarah and Mary and Lucy and Addie, they all have their own party link. They have all invited their own friends. They all have their own PRV total for their party. They get their own host rewards, and those parties ship to those 4 hosts. Does that make sense? So you're not just putting one giant party order in, you're putting 4 party orders in because you have 4 hosts. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, good. You're saying it makes sense. Okay. Okay, we talked about PRV. Let's talk about recruiting. How do you recruit long term? How do you recruit over and over again? How do you continue to do it over and over? Guys, we're in a brand new world. We're in a brand new world called Facebook knows everything about you. Facebook knows everything that you are looking at. And they will freely give you that. Well, they won't freely give you that information, but they will give you that information. They will give you that information when you pay for a targeted sponsored ad. Now, I'm not saying you have to go buy ads to get recruits. I'm not saying it at all. But I am saying there are people looking for your opportunity who are specifically looking to start a direct sales business. And they may not be your neighbor, and they may not be the person at your kid's baseball game, but they are online, and they are out there looking, but you're not friends with them. And if you're not friends with them, how are they going to find you? So there's so many things you could learn about. I'm going to say a few words to you. I don't want you to take them or leave them. And I want you to decide if you want to learn more about them. So, you know, when you get on Facebook, the second ad that you see, or the second thing you see in your feed, it's a sponsored, targeted ad. It was targeted directly to you because of something you said, something you looked for, something you searched. It was targeted specifically to you. The same thing is happening to your potential client, new recruits, new customers. They're being targeted, but it may not be by you. Now, this is not a boosted post. This is not a Facebook ad. This is a sponsored, targeted ad. There is so much potential. And honestly, sponsored targeted ads are freaking king right now in online marketing. They are king. They're paying out more than SEO is, and anybody can learn how to do it. You don't have to know all this techie stuff, but you do have to be able to solve a problem. So start paying attention to the ads that are being targeted at you. First of all, you can learn a lot from them. Are they all great ads? No. But you will learn that it's long. You'll see if you start looking at them. It's long copy. And most of them are targeting you based on a problem that you have. So you have a problem, they are targeting you because they believe they can fix your problem. You could do the exact same thing for a potential recruit, somebody who's looking into starting a direct sales business, someone who's looking into wanting to buy our exact product or a product similar, right? Home fragrance, they're interested in the home fragrance. And if you can solve their problem, and then you have this great little drip campaign of emails that warms them up to you, there is so much potential online in ways that maybe you're not quite thinking about, or maybe that you just haven't learned about yet. I'm just picking up. I'm just checking on y'all. Where y'all at? Are y'all doing okay? Okay, checking y'all's comments. Yes, Erin says just like building a story brand. Okay, so these are some of my tips. This is, if you really wanted to blow the window off this thing, if you really wanted to grow long-term and you wanted to grow big, learning about sponsored targeted ads will be beneficial to you. Learning about email marketing would be beneficial to you. Email is not going anywhere. And honestly, email will be king if anything happens to any of these social media sites. And it could. It could. So there's so many things for you to think about as you really ask yourself, is my business sustainable long-term, and how do I do it? I want to talk very quickly about what it looks like to walk away and take time off, because some of you last year watched our video and I told you that I take a break, and we talked about taking a healthy break from your business. And then some of you failed miserably at it because you couldn't stay away or you're afraid things were going to fall off the handle. Okay, how do we do that? There's a lot of ways. But let's think about the things that are most substantial. First of all, and I'm talking about this now because it's something that needs to be planned for now. How do you take a break for 4 weeks? So we take a break from basically the shipping cutoff deadline. So whatever it ends up being, we haven't announced that yet, I don't think. So whenever Cincy says this is the last day that we will ship for Christmas delivery. Sometimes I'll do it earlier than that because I think in the past it's been up to like the 18th or something. It just kind of depends. But I always plan it to be right around then. And everything I do and all the communication I send and all the times I'm talking to customers and the way I'm booking parties and everything I'm doing is leading up to knowing that from this day forward for 4 weeks, I'm out. And that means all of my PRV for the month must be placed before I check out. And I have to have January planned before I check out because I'm going to stay out of the game until January 15th. But when January 15th starts, I'm coming back strong and I have 2 weeks to know that I need to make sure things are rolling. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Because I've been focused on online sales and pushing my customers to order online and rewarding them for doing that for so long, I could very easily have my 500 PRV before I come back on January 15th because people are ordering online. They know that they're getting rewarded. They're still going to get rewarded even though I took a month off. Does that make sense? You're thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my team? What about my team? You're going to tell your team you're going to take a break. Your team, here is what we have to start understanding. Your team, they are business owners. Do they all act like that? No. But are they business owners? Yes. It is the reality. They're the only ones responsible for their success or failure in this business. You communicate up until the day you take a break. When you come back, you communicate then too. And you tell them, here's what I'm doing. I'm taking a break. My brain needs a breather. My life needs a breather. I need to breathe. It doesn't have to be 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks for us because this is all we do. And we have gotten so much better at work-life balance, and we've gotten better at working smarter and not hustling and doing things one time and repeating them over and over again. We've gotten better, but we've learned the hard way. But it's 4 weeks for us because I just feel like I need 4 weeks. And for me, that 4-week cycle is really usually what my mind needs to stop thinking about it, stop thinking about my leaders, and stop thinking about my team, and stop thinking about Cincy. Have a little break. And then the last week and a half to 2 weeks, I am on fire with 1,000 ideas. So I will let my ideas flow. I will let myself create content. I will think up new things. I will research things, but I will not work. So I won't engage with my team yet. I will not engage with my customers yet. I will not be on the workstation. None of it. And I know you're looking at me like I'm freaking crazy, but I just want you to like entertain the idea. Think about intentionally doing something similar. It doesn't matter how long it is, but there is huge benefit to taking a break. Burnout is too much of a real thing for you not to have some intentionality behind your business. Now I'm saying work your booty off until you take a break. And then I'm saying work your booty off when you come back to finish the month strong. But it's possible, but it's not going to happen on accident. Okay? Are you thinking I'm crazy? I want to say some other words to you. I'm checking on, making y'all are okay. Do you want to come in? You can't stick your fat arm through there. Your chubby arm.
What?
I said fat.
Oh, what is it? Life.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I just meant wide wrist because you're a man. I just called my husband's wrist fat. I meant like manly.
My muscular wrists.
Your muscular wrist. Okay.
There was a question posted about the spouse thing that was solid.
Somebody said, Brian, that's my question.
Oh, did I post that?
Oh, did you post a good question? What did you say?
I said I have a question.
Oh, good baby. He said, this guy said, I'm working my business so much. Is someone in our driveway? Yeah, for sure.
Get the gun. Is that one headlight?
No, it's definitely 2, but you don't pull all the way into our driveway unless you want to come up here. They can see us very clearly, too. Anything happens, we were on Facebook Live. We have no outside lights right now because our house is getting renovated, so my office is in the front of the house, so they could just see straight in, obviously. Okay, so he said, I'm working my business so much, my spouse resents it. How do I turn off my business at night to spend time with my spouse when I'm messaging and texting me at all hours? That's a great question. Turn the damn thing off. There is nothing healthy about you sleeping with your phone next to your bed. There's nothing healthy about you checking Facebook messages while you're in bed. There's nothing healthy about you checking on your team or your customers. I've said it 1,000 times. I will say it 1,000 more. There is no Cincy emergency, ever. It is okay for you to say, I'm done at 6. I'm done at 8. I'm done at 4. I don't care what time it is. Whatever time works for you and your spouse is the time that it needs to be over.
Don't read the comments. Keep talking.
I was thinking. That was my thinking face.
That was your thinking face?
Yeah. That's something to do with it. This business, no matter how much money you make in it, will never be worth sacrificing your marriage or the relationship you have with your kids over it.
And it's not a choice that you make. Like, you don't just say, well, this business is more important than my marriage.
Right.
It doesn't happen like
right.
that. It's a really slow fade.
It's a slow fade. It is.
That's a good song, by the way. Just look that up. It's a slow fade.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing, from my perspective, it was a rhetorical question. I just wanted to kind of get her mind thinking that way. And I haven't watched it all, so I didn't know if she covered that or not. But what you guys have to understand, and a lot of you do, but from a husband's perspective, or at least from my perspective, because I had a business background, there has to be business hours. When I saw her in the early days working until 9 or 10 or 11 o'clock, I didn't get home till late anyway. And when I got home at 8 or 9 o'clock, usually we had a few hours of us time. Did that live video in?
Yeah, because you can only do an hour on Instagram.
And I didn't respect her as a business person because she never had business hours. It was all the time. And so it caused me to resent her. It caused me to resent her business. And because of those things, it took me a couple of years to get on board with Scentsy, even though it was making us money and we had a good side income and all that. So just know, as many times as we've heard people say, well, I can't turn it off because what if my teammate or a customer or something needs something at 9 o'clock? Your customers and your teammates will ultimately have more respect for you as well if you do have business hours.
It's true.
When I go, when I call to make an appointment at the doctor, I don't expect them to see me at 8 o'clock in the evening because I know they have business hours, because that's a legitimate business. But the same thing can be said for the boutique.
Even if you're sick.
Even if you're sick, yeah. They could care less.
They don't
Go
care.
to the clinic. But even the little boutique down the street that's owned by a local lady that is hustling, trying to make her business work, she has business hours. She closes her doors at 6 p.m. So it's not just because you run a business from home, don't have the mindset of I need to be available all the time to make this work. Our business started working better when we had business hours where we could turn off our phones, because then at 8 or 9 o'clock the next morning, we were more energized to do business because we weren't up till 11:30 dealing with issues with teammates or customers or whatever. And ultimately, it might struggle a little bit at first because people are used to getting a hold of you, but I promise you long-term, people will have more respect for you in your downline, customer base, everything.
And people have so much grace, honestly. I think we think that people are just cutthroat and mean, and they're really not. Most people are full of grace. And honestly, if they are really mean, you probably don't want them to be on your team or be your customer. So
cut that cancer out of your life.
You don't have to, you call me crazy, you don't have to deal with mean people if you don't want to. Or people don't have any understanding for you saying this is, when I am going to be available and when I'm not. You get to make the rules, and you get to change the rules whenever you want. So tonight was really more of me trying to get your brain to open to this new, it's new for some of you. This idea of thinking, how do I automate more? How do I become more efficient? How do I become more profitable? How do I be more effective? How do I set up a business that I can see myself doing 10 years from now? Because so many of you are running a business right now that you
will run you into the ground.
You wouldn't want to be doing it in 10 years.
Keep up with the pace you're at. Yeah.
Even if you were making 10 times the money.
And there's a season for everything too, right? Did you talk about that?
Yes.
Depending on what season you're at in your business, if you're early on, if you have 1 or 2 people underneath you, your business looks completely different than if you have 50 or 80 or 100. Your time and energy does need to be spent in your customers right now and turning them into consultants and all of that. So I'm sure you guys cover that.
But I have so many friends in direct sales. I was having a conversation with one of my friends in Arbonne the other day, and she's trying to work up to a leadership. Well, she's in a leadership, but whatever. So we were just having these conversations, and I said something about you can't do for one person what you couldn't do for 1,000.
Right.
And that is such a mindset shift in that goes for your customers, that goes for your team. And so what happens sometimes early on is as you're building a business and you have 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 team members and everything is new, everything is exciting, what happens is you create bad habits in leadership because you only have 10, right? I have 10 people and I can do all these things for them and I can do everything for them. And what you're doing is creating followers, not leaders. And when you have people come on your team, you don't want followers. You want to build up leaders that are going to run their own businesses, that are going to be self-sustaining, that are going to make their own choices and decisions, that aren't going to need you. And you want to make sure that even in the beginning, as you're starting to work with and build a team, that you are thinking through the lens of really big things. Can I do this when there's 1,000 people? Can I do this when there's 2,000 people? Can I do this when there's 8,000 people? And the same is true for your customers. When you have 5 customers, Sure, you can make deliveries wherever. It's not a big deal. You have 25 customers, you have 50 customers, you have 150 customers. It's not really reality. And also, we have a global business, and we have a business that allows you to build a team in other countries, to recruit in different regions, to all to sell product in different areas. And so,
But you're not saying you can't ever make deliveries.
no, and I didn't say that. I just
alluding to that.
no.
You said what you can't do for one, or what you can't do for 1,000.
No, but I was one of the things we talked about early on.
Make local deliveries. That is fine.
Well, but we also talked about, you weren't here, but I was talking about how it might not be the wisest thing for you to make local deliveries all the time if you're spending tons of time. So,
but we know of people that have made deliveries an hour away from their house because they wanted to provide really good customer service. And hey, that's a great mindset. I love the mindset, but you've just set a really high expectation for that person, where from the get-go you had said, hey, I would love to do that, but if you could order off my website, that would help me out so much. And people respect that. And then you've turned what could be 100 hours of your life over the next 5 years and making deliveries an hour each way into a customer that'll order online. And they might even order more often because they don't feel like they're putting you out by ordering.
I'm going to answer one more question, then we're going to be done. But somebody said, my internet went out. What'd you say about your friend that she's with a company that they just push trunk shows? That's how you grow your business. I mean, honestly, we push home parties too. I mean, we do the same thing. But we're in a world now where everything is online and people are shopping online, and people are more than willing to buy a purse, buy a piece of jewelry, buy Scentsy bars that they can't even smell online. People are doing it over and over again. And that's what's amazing to me is you're watching, we're in a world that's changing, and we have to make sure that we're adapting and changing. And if people are willing to be online, we should probably be online in some form or fashion. How are we promoting online? How are we recruiting online? All of those things. And just being on social media and just interacting on social media isn't probably going to cut it anymore. It's probably not going to cut it anymore. Tracy?
Cut the cord.
Yeah, it's time to be done with that. Becca Levi told me one time, or I heard her say to somebody, the $8 that it costs to have something shipped to somebody is worth far more of your time than what it's costing you. I didn't say it right, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, it costs $8 to have something direct shipped. When if you're driving an hour away to deliver something, is that worth more than $8? Yeah, probably.
But here's my other question, Tracy. I would ask you, so you said you're doing that 4 times a month. Is that for one person, or is it for multiple people in one area? Sounds like you need
to recruit in that area.
Because you need to recruit one of them and say, hey, here's the thing. This is a chance for you to be this consultant in this area. I'm just not going to be able to sustain this anymore, and I've already got some people ordering from this area, so you need to sign up, and these can be your customers.
Okay, that's a great point too, though. That is one of the ways my business grew initially is my mom lived an hour and a half south of me. She still does. And I went down and did several parties there in the beginning because I was selling a ton down there. And I finally just said, I cannot do this. This is not smart for me to continue to come down here and do parties. Somebody needs to sign up. And that's how that whole entire area grew and my team started to grow. And so those are conversations that probably need to be had. Yep. So, thank y'all for joining us. I hope that this got your wheels turning, got you thinking about some other things. More than anything, I want you to be constantly evolving the way that you think and being willing to learn and change and grow. I want you to always be questioning the way you're running your business and asking yourself, could I do it smarter? Could I do it more efficient? Can I do it more automated? But still keep the likable lady there, right? That you still are able to build trust where people feel like they know, like, and trust you. But there are ways that you can absolutely put automation in place that will help you sustain long-term and reduce some of that hustle and increase your profit. So I hope that's helpful. We will continue this conversation and different aspects of it down the road. So thank y'all for joining us, and we'll be live again next Tuesday night.
Be a light in the dark world.
Okay.